Long ago, there was a beautiful and prosperous kingdom known as Roshendis. The land was surrounded by tall green mountains, clear blue rivers, golden fields, and fragrant gardens. The people of Roshendis were peaceful, hardworking, and kind to one another. Ruling this kingdom was a wise and noble queen named Queen Noreen. She was famous not only for her beauty, but also for her intelligence, compassion, and sense of justice. Queen Noreen did not grow up spoiled within palace walls. Her father, the king, believed that a true ruler must first learn to be a good human being. From a young age, he took Noreen outside the palace, to farmers' fields, to the homes of the poor, and to the streets where children played. He would say, "My daughter, a ruler who does not understand the pain of the people is only a shadow sitting on a throne." These words stayed in Noreen's heart forever. Noreen's childhood was filled with learning, kindness, and discipline. Her mother was gentle and loving, teaching her patience and humility. But when Noreen was still young, her mother passed away. This loss deeply saddened her, yet it also made her stronger. Standing by her mother's grave, Noreen promised, "Mother, I will become a queen you would be proud of." As time passed, the king grew old and ill. On his final day, he called Noreen to his side, held her hand, and said, "The kingdom of Roshendis is now your responsibility. Rule it with love, fairness, and courage." Soon after, the king passed away, and the entire kingdom mourned. The day of Noreen's coronation arrived. The city was decorated with flowers and banners, and people gathered in the streets to see their new queen. Noreen wore a golden crown, but there was no pride in her eyes, only responsibility. Her first announcement as queen was simple yet powerful. "In my kingdom, justice will be the same for the rich and the poor." Queen Noreen held court every day, listening carefully to her people. Once a week, she disguised herself and walked through the streets to see the true condition of her kingdom. One day, she met an old woman crying in the marketplace. The woman told her how a cruel merchant had stolen her land. Soon after, the queen ensured that justice was served and the land was returned. News spread that their queen truly cared. Under Queen Noreen's rule, Roshendis flourished. Schools were built, hospitals were opened, farmers were supported, and trade increased. Peace and prosperity filled the land. But with success came new challenges. To the north lived a cruel and ambitious king who believed that a woman ruler must be weak. He began preparing his army to attack Roshendis. When this news reached the royal court, fear spread among the ministers and generals. Queen Noreen, however, remained calm. She said, "True strength lies not in the sword, but in courage and unity." She strengthened the defenses, organized the army, and stood beside her soldiers as a leader. On the day of battle, dark clouds covered the sky. The enemy army was large and fierce. Riding a white horse, Queen Noreen addressed her soldiers. "Today we fight not only for our land, but for our dignity and peace." Her words filled their hearts with bravery. The battle lasted many days. There was great loss on both sides, but the courage of Roshendis never faded. At last, the enemy was defeated and forced to retreat. The kingdom was saved. The people realized that their queen was not only wise, but also fearless. After the war, Queen Noreen personally visited the wounded and ordered kind treatment for enemy prisoners. She said, "Hatred only creates more hatred. Mercy is the greatest victory." Her compassion earned her respect even beyond her borders. Years passed, and Roshendis became known as a land of knowledge and peace. Scholars and travelers came from distant lands to learn from Queen Noreen's wisdom. She never married, believing her greatest duty was to her people. Every child was her child, every mother her own. Then came a time of great drought. The rains stopped, rivers dried, and crops failed. The people grew afraid. Queen Noreen opened the royal treasury to feed the hungry, ordered wells to be dug, and lived simply herself. Seeing their queen share their hardship gave the people hope. At last, rain returned. The fields turned green again, and joy filled the kingdom. The people thanked their queen, but she replied, "This is the reward of your patience and hard work." In her later years, Queen Noreen often sat on the palace balcony, watching the sunset. She reflected on a life dedicated to service. One evening, she gathered her court and said, "I tried to rule you as a family. If I ever failed, forgive me." A few days later, Queen Noreen passed away peacefully. The entire kingdom fell into mourning. People wept, but they also felt pride. They had been ruled by a queen who taught them the true meaning of leadership. Even today, when justice and kindness are spoken of in Roshendis, the name of Queen Noreen is remembered. She was not just a queen, she became a legend. Her story is told to future generations so they may learn that true power lies in love, fairness, and sacrifice. The end.